Ready to get my ass beat by drunk Mick. It's gonna be a good time.
Pest doesn't realize that he's live right now. We can all
Sure.
hear
Alright.
everything he
Start
says.
in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck. You too, boy.
Okay then. Let's take a look at this card real quick. So, I don't know, right away I see that Coliseum goal, but actually the border doesn't look too awful. Some potential first goals we might see. 6 tolls, very easy. 5 corner for locations. Couple of randomized goals that are pretty easy to pick up, only requiring 1 item. I don't think it's very likely that we'll see something else from the border. But a lot of really fast goals. Especially, I think, column 1 looks really good. Row 5 is decent, though very randomized dependent. Not a big fan of column 5. Not a fan of row 1. Then if we look a bit at the interior of the card, a lot of ugly stuff in that middle 3x3. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. The only decent goal is 5 grubs of deepness. The other 8 are all different shades of bad. So this could actually be a fairly long card, especially if Green Mill is late. That would make this agonizing. Okay, so enough about possible starting goals. Whoops. If we find Dream Nail or D-Dive, I expect these to be marked immediately. Those are really good goals for really good rows. Well, I shouldn't say really good, but everything is relative. On this card, column 5 and row 1 are awful. Like, these 3 goals aren't good. Hornet 2 is guaranteed, but slow. These 3 goals aren't good. 5 Paladin Seals is guaranteed, but it has terrible synergy with 4000 Geo. So meanwhile, I haven't paid a lick of attention to the racers, but they did get the Watcher Knights Geo, the largest Geo pickup, and we see them use it right away to buy the map. We'll see if that coincides with an early Zelda check coming up at the Stag, possibly. Either way, that is 1 corner per location for both of them, which will be really nice. Oh, was it Mantis Lord? That seems hard to believe considering they had 630 Geo, unless they both decided to grab a Geo node. Yeah, I don't believe that, but you could be right. Anyways, so while we wait to see... I don't like this from Pest, to be honest. And Mick, too. Okay, so are we maybe seeing double Darkroom plays? Like, so here's the thing, right? There's no reason to open the Stag there if you're not going to take the Stag there. If you're continuing this way to False Knight, then you're going to get the hard save and just walk back to the Stag station afterwards anyways. In fact, it's even worse than that, because they bought a map they didn't need coming this way. Like, it would be just as easy to talk to Cornifer and turn down the map purchase. I don't know. Yeah, some kind of confused decision making from both owners, it seems, to me at least. Not likely to be a big deal though. So, while we see this pretty standard false knight fight from both players, let's take a look at how this card is going to break down. Dream Nail Goals, obviously, one of the bigger things we like to think about. Not a huge player here, though the double Grimchild is definitely a thing. Yeah, only 5 Dream Nail Goals. Not likely to make a huge influential effect. Unless it is someone's first failure. What could actually be a problem is there is a lot on here that requires Claw. Both Grimchild Goals, Crystal Guardian, and Crystal Peak. Anything else? 5 Grub sort of soft requires Claw. Same with Hollow 1. People don't like to do those without Claw, but they're very reasonable. Okay, Claw's not as big as I thought it was. Shows what I know. Yeah, really a lot of disparate item requirements. Yeah, you need Shake Book for Trader Lord, Wings for CG2. Ooh, a nice Geo pickup in Ancestral Mound. A kind of frustrating Geo pickup though, when they're already pretty loaded and don't really need anything. Yeah, and Weaver Song in the False Knight chest. I didn't comment on that, but that is not something you want to see in Crossroads, since killing Elder Balder with Weaver Song can take several minutes sometimes, depending on your RNG. I believe they do 3 damage per tick, so you have to get 20 ticks, and they aren't very cooperative. Now, if I see anyone farm this Husk Guard without equipping Weaver Song, I'm not happy. Like, I'm pretty sure it would be worth the time it takes to bench and equip you. I could be wrong. Especially if you're gonna go do a Grossmother play right after, since Weaver Song also saves time in that. Alright, neither player checking his Zelda now. Kind of annoying, I think, to me. Like, there's some real potential for time save there. Especially since they opened the stack early on. But, this isn't a bad play either, rescuing Spy early on. Consolidating your Dirt Myth trip. At the cost of guaranteeing a Shadeskip to Salute Breath. Mick getting a little bit better Grossmother RNG than Nest. Gets him through that fight ever so slightly faster. It might not seem like a big deal, seconds here and there right now, but the first person to find a progression item in one of these shops, you know, if it's Dreamdale or D-Dive got placed there, that could be huge. Whoops. what's it gonna be at Salubra? Also, another thing I didn't mention, our runners are gonna have to keep track of a lot of these strong combo goals. Like, normally, you'll see a couple of these, but to have 3 goals like that on this card can be kind of tough, since, you know, early on when you're visiting the shops, you don't always keep good track of them. Wings! I'll go ahead and add another hour to our seed. Pest forgot to kill his shade before entering. Oh, and he screws up the shade skip. That is terrible. He could have even just benched. Oh my god. Pest, why? And look too, like, once you get up to Salubra's ledge, like, all you have to do is just wait. And the shade will hover on up there. And you can kill it. Like, it's not some mysterious thing, but you see runners make this mistake all the time. It's really frustrating. I need to make a video on this skip. Unfortunately, I always get outraged like this while I'm commentating. I really don't like the setup you see these runners going for, where you flush with the right wall, and hope that you get enough height off the shade. But whatever, Pest gets it the second try. Looks at the other 2 charms. Quick Slash and Sharp Shadow, not great. Certainly not worth the money right now. So, we'll see him leave. Is he going to do another shade skip? He is. So, Pest will be following in Mick's footsteps, about a minute and a half behind, I think, after that fiasco. This is going to basically give Mick the pick of the house in terms of his starting goal, with Pest following in his footsteps. Anything Mick finds, he can mark if he wants to. Yeah, not much to say about this sequence right here. With wings, pretty hard to fail, unless you're just not paying attention. Oh, Mick did buy Quick Slash, I missed that actually. And he gets Geo here. And oh my, look at what that tells us. Fragile Strength off the table. 7 Grubs and Crystal Peaks off the table. This could be an extremely long card. Oh, upgraded Gripchild? Yeah, better wait for that Crystal Heart. Oh. This bodes poorly, to say the least. Yeah, so the Seer is loaded, as it turns out. All the stuff our racers want to get eventually. And Dreamnail will be quite huge. Oh, and looks like a delayed commentator's curse on Pest. I did say it was impossible to fail this dream sequence here, but while you had wings, but a little short jump cost him everything, sent him a long ways back. Alright, what's in his Zelda shop?
Bapanada.
Dash. An expensive dash, but you're certainly still going to see people buy that. 500 Geo is a small price to pay considering the massive speed boost you get from it. And dive. Are we going to see Mick mark this? Interesting to note, greed is also in the shop. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. No. Well, Mick makes a bad investment and chooses to hold Desolate Dive in reserve. I don't like this. I do not know what Mick could possibly see in row 1. Okay, and Mick does finally get around the mark. Thanks for the consequences of all. But yeah, certainly would not want to wait for Pest to force him into row 1 because row 1 is atrocious. But yeah, I was mentioning it earlier, but I don't really like Fragile Greed in general. It's actually a fairly small boost to the Geo you get from most enemies. Yeah, good to see Mick not going for that altar play when he has access to... Oh, Soul Catcher actually. I was going to say, oh, Leg Eater, but they don't really have the Geo to do a full Leg Eater check anyway, so going to Spalder here, at least getting enough Geo to reveal Leg Eater's inventory is a good idea. Yeah, trying to dash over that boulder there doesn't normally turn out too well. Yep, dive makes this a really easy kill. But Soul Catcher, not useful today. Ooh, I like this route divergence by Best. As soon as he's bought dive, he comes straight back to resting grounds to make this check. Possibly something he had considered ever since he saw Mick acquiring the dive gold. Since Mick might not have had the same frame of mind to think that out after finding dive. Also kind of interesting to see Mick farming grubs early on. Maybe wants a little bit of Geo, but... Oh! And Pest finds Dream Builder. This is really big, actually. And Glowing Womb. Wow. Will Pest mark Dream Builder? It's interesting to me that Pest hasn't marked it yet. I mean, there certainly is no reason to hide that goal. Like, what? Is Mick going to try and figure out where Dream Builder is because he wants to equip it so badly? And Pest is already locked into row 1, so it's not like it makes a difference what his first goal is. But it has entered as reserve now, so I'll mark it as such. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible commentator, I think. No, I'm not. I thought I had switched to streams, but I had them right. Nest does have Dream Builder. Well, the main reason to go ahead and mark it is so that, well, number one, it's useless information. Pest will mark it eventually, and letting Mick know that he's checked the resting grounds catacombs is kind of meaningless, considering both racers are going to check that eventually. Anyways, there's 2 items down there, so certainly Mick wouldn't be able to conclude that he doesn't have to check them. Also, there are certain scenarios in which Pest could end up being crammed for reserve goals. Depending on the order in which he marks things. So, keeping things in reserve indefinitely, not a great strategy. As it is, I suspect that Pest has not made the mental connection that he can mark the goal. I don't think that there's a coherent strategy behind hiding it. Like, right now, Mick certainly couldn't tell whether it was in fungal wastes or resting grounds or anywhere else. So... well, it's unimportant, and continuing to discuss it is really just a waste of time. Anyways, we see Mick rushing this Boulder Shell check. It's a good way to build up a little more geo on the way over. And he finds Dream Nail. So now Mick will also have a reserve goal. And we'll start to see what I mentioned earlier. Pest is going to pick up the Stream Nail and be stuck with something that's basically a permanent reserve goal until Mick decides to mark it for him. Since there certainly is no way that Pest will ever get to mark the Stream Nail goal, yet it will still block his reserve. Okay, I'm just really seeing both of our runners farm Geo right now. Both also getting their second goal here. Hopefully Pest won't die to Hornet. That would disappoint me greatly. Does not seem to have a good grasp of how to dive on Hornet. But he does survive the fight somehow, only healing twice. He finds Vengeful Spirit as his reward. Mick will save a little bit of time on Pest here, I believe, from the save quit. It's kind of close, though. Yeah, really close. Okay, now Mick is going to check this down here. No, he's not. This is actually good for Mick because this will keep him from getting a dead reserve goal for the time being. Oh, could we be about to see a Glowing Bloom play from Mick? I would be very pleased if that were the case, though. Glowing Bloom's a bit annoying to retrieve with Dive. Could also see Crystal Heart play. Not Crystal Peak play, I mean. But nope. All signs point to Glowing Bloom. Meanwhile, Pest is in this room for some reason to buy a toll. Okay, so Pest has his third toll. It is worth noting that if Pest should get 6 tolls without marking Dream Wielder, he will lose a 6 toll roll due to the reserve roll. So Pest shouldn't do that. Meanwhile, Mick doing a great job at the Spike Tunnel skip. Very impressed. I know he's practiced it a lot with Dashmaster too, so he has no problem avoiding those annoying down inputs with Dive and such. Meanwhile, Pest's gonna show us what's at Thorns, and it is Hive Blood, not on the card, thankfully for him. And Soul Eater at Glowing Whim, so nothing helpful on either side. Let's see what Mick does next. Would not be too surprised to see a full Crystal Peak play. Though in his position, I'd kind of like to see a play on Row 3. We might see a Shade Skip to Elderbug here. I think that would be a good play. Or to rush 5 Hallownest Seals, which is also a good option. Okay, so Pest finally marks Dream Wielder. Means good for Mick, this won't be a reserve goal on either side. Pest also decides to backtrack to the bench after entering the Monster Underground. Kind of a weird decision since he compromises most of the time save of that bench by the backtrack, but whatever. Mick also finding Glowing Womb a much more important goal for his side of the board. Dreamdale has already been found, which will be nice. Once they find Fragile Heart, they'll have the option of Shade Skipping. Though it's not terribly likely that we'll see it from either of them, I think. does look to me like Mick is making a play for 5 Paladin seals early on. Though not without dying along the way. I do believe it's possible to shade skip an Elder Bug, but certainly not with a death that far left. Meanwhile, Pest checking something new for us. The Green Path chest will find Balder Shell not on the card. Also, doesn't rescue the grub in here. Worth noting. Okay, Pest has 3 tools, Mick has 2. I don't know how many Cornifer locations they have, but neither of them are close to 5. Meanwhile, Pest enters Fog Canyon, goes past Race. Hopefully we're not going to see him backtrack. Back up to that, since that would be pretty slow. Alright, Mick gets his 3rd toll. Yeah, it looks like Mick is keeping track of corner locations, I believe. So that'll be helpful. Alright, meanwhile, Pest just got his 4th toll. We do not know what's at Wraiths. Wraiths has been unchecked so far. Interesting to see this play from Mick. Maybe wants to get a few Wanderer's Journals, knowing that he won't be able to sell his seals. Possibly also going to give us a Wings check and a simple key retrieval. Yeah, not going for the Wanderer's Journal here. Probably good, because I'm not sure you can get back up without Clog. That means this is a really early Wings check. Interesting. We may see him open this toll as well while he's down here. I doubt it though, since the bench wouldn't even save. Oh, but he will. So that is Mick's 4th toll, since I believe he opened King Station. Oh, Mick hitting the spikes at the worst possible time. Meanwhile, Pest following is in his footsteps, heading into City of Tears. Expect to see him finish the toll goal here. Only needs 2 more. taking a lot of damage here. I hope he heals before Broken Vessel. Since the start animation of the fight is removed in Randomizer. Broken Vessel, not normally a very difficult boss, but certainly with 2 HP and their very limited offensive capabilities right now, this can be a little scary. Oh, and also, I just realized Mick might be down here to get lost again. I don't like doing that so early. I mean, like, I like the getting lost skin, don't get me wrong, but if you're gonna do that, get a nail upgrade for sure. At least. Like, this fight takes a billion years. Lost skin has, I think, 1200 HP. That's 240 hits with nail 0, to be clear. But Mick might really want to make a play for essence stuff early on. We have found Fragile Strength at the 500 essence goal, Crystal Heart at 900. So a lot of potential there. Did I miss Best getting a 6th goal? I'm not sure what he thinks that is. Crossroads Stag, Green Path Stag, Green Path Bench, Queen Station, King Station. Am I forgetting something? He hasn't been through the Dark Room yet. I don't recall Best entering Crystal Peak. Did that happen? Okay, well, if chat says Pest did it, then I'll believe chat. Meanwhile, interesting to see this from Pest heading up to Soul Sanctum early on. This doesn't build towards any goals, but you know, 3 really nice checks right now. Could give him a nice advantage over Mick. Yeah, meanwhile, Mick struggling a bit against Lost Skin. Like I was saying, this is an extraordinarily long fight when you're under-equipped. Like, for someone who runs, say, the world record route for True End, like, I could understand going for this, but for Mick, who I don't think is quite so experienced with this fight, real kudos to him for trying it. I hope it works out. And Mick dies near the audio loop, which means that Broken Vessel is probably down to 25% of its health or so. Mick goes right back in, undeterred. Sorry, I'm a little sick. Round 2 seems to be going a bit better for Mick. I'd like to see him staying at full HP. After a death, really would benefit from playing more conservatively, I think. Meanwhile, Pest also taking a lot of damage, but against a Soul Warrior, which is maybe not quite as an illustrious an opponent. I believe Broken Vessel and Lost Skin are both immune to Dream Nail for lore reasons. Okay, Mick dies again. Will he give up now? I kind of expect he will, but we'll see. No, Mick is determined. Will this be the fight where Mick actually heals, though? That is the question. I definitely kind of have to expect he's getting tilted now, which is really bad if it's the case. Yeah, he really could have bought Nail 1 before doing this, if nothing else. I know people talk a lot about how Nail 1 costs so much against Dream Warriors, but that really isn't true. Those Dream Warriors actually get HP gains that don't keep pace with the Nail upgrades. So considering how bad their spell arsenal is, you can't worry about that. I don't believe Mick has checked wings. I could be wrong. I think I was watching Pest after he beat Broken Vessel. Now look at this, you know, Mick is refusing to heal at 4 HP. He has learned nothing from the last few attempts. Will he heal at 3 HP? Okay, well that's good at least. The hardest part about Lost Skin when you're under a clip like this is that after you've staggered him so many times, he'll hit his max stagger count, at which point it's no longer possible to stun him and no longer possible to heal against him. So if you don't do a good job of keeping yourself at full health, then you get to that stage and you're basically screwed. So for that reason, I would really like to see Mick not playing this fight so riskily. Like, what, 2 HP? That shouldn't even be happening. I do believe that Mick has passed the hit stun limit, which means that he is stuck on 1 HP. And because of his poor... Oh no, he got one. He must have just timed out a lot of combos in a row. My bad. Okay, thank goodness Mick finally gets it done. That'll be really good. Meanwhile, Pest dies after Soulmaster. Interesting choice of action. Could have just saved quit from there. Alright, meanwhile Mick finally marks skulls, gets Dream Nail out of reserve. All is well with the world again. Alright, Pest, are you going to die here again? Maybe? Cyclone Slash at Wings, so luckily for Mick, he probably wouldn't have used that against Lost Skin even if he had it, but might have been able to boost his DPS with that. Okay, so let's see, what are we going to do with this card now? Would not be surprised to see Mick make a play for Hornet 2 now. Definitely a good option he has. Pest, meanwhile, really ought to get 5 Alana seals soon. He's at 3 right now. Yeah, that's an easy goal for him. Okay, Pest deciding where to go. Looks like he's going to open City Storm Rooms. A decent play for a simple key, I guess, but not great, I don't think. It's a very slow key to get, and Pest does back out of it, actually. Alright, meanwhile, Mick coming down here again. Are we going to see... No, you can't check his Mystere yet. So is he just getting a journal? No, not going for the journal. Is there anything else down here other than a corner for location? Maybe that's what he wants. He forgot it, and he's coming back for it. If that's the case, I certainly think there are faster ones. Oh, I'm sorry. He wanted the Pale Ore. Wow. I was saying that he should go for Hornet 2, when actually the Lost Skin play sets him up for Pale Ore from the Seer and the Pale Ore right here. So this is really good, actually. Yeah, I like it a lot. It is kind of an annoying goal, but Mick already is basically committed to no nail upgrades, so not gonna cost him too much. No, we may see him come back here for the corner for check after all. But he decides without trying that he can't make that jump, so... Oh well, I guess. We'll see if Mick opts to kill Zero and pick up Fragile Strength Boys over here. Could be a play. Definitely a useful charm. Mick immediately marking that goal, no hesitation at all. Meanwhile, Pest maybe heading into Crystal Peak. Either way, I really would have liked to have seen him lock in that 5 Haloness seal goal. It's worth noting there are no convenient Haloness seals in Crystal Peak. So... Oh, and Pest did not have this told, so apparently he mismarked that goal before. Thanks, chat, for nothing. The many dangers of trusting chat for good info. Nah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm kidding. Anyways, it certainly did not affect Mickely's decision making, I don't think. And for all we know, maybe Pest did mark another toll, or maybe he just miscounted. A really annoying goal in Bingo in general to track. Okay, but Pest is heading into Crystal Peak now. Why? No one knows. Not interested in rushing goals, just checking items. Obviously 5 LNS seals isn't in danger at the moment, but like it's unclear what the play here is. Like none of the goals in row 4, which Pest would presumably want to get after row 3, are randomized, so he's just giving Nick an opportunity to lock down his side of the board. Even better now. Also, why? Why, Pest, would you even interact with Cornifer? Surely you don't think you're going to mark that goal. Strange decisions. I know I don't want to rag on Pest too much, since I do know that he's not terribly experienced with Invasion Bingo. But yeah, he should not be going for that at the moment. Alright, Leg Eater doesn't have anything nice, so that's kind of a relief considering no one checked it for the first hour. So let's see, what might Mickely be thinking with this play here? We know that he's looking into King's Idols, and with that, he has a couple options, none of which are in this direction, unless he's headed to Deep Nest. And for anything else he could go for, yeah, I don't know. There's certainly space to justify a Deep Nest play at this point. I'd really like to see him go ahead and prioritize the Cornifer locations on his side, just like I'd like to see Pest finish off LNS seals. Like, I feel like we're seeing a lot of checks right now from both runners at a time when they have a lot of goals available. Like, we know where Crystal Heart is, so it's not like you're losing time by not checking items. Alright, so Pest is going to do this rather slow Crystal Heart check without Claw. Could be very lucrative. Not likely to be very lucrative, but could be. It's also quite difficult to set up, so we'll see if he's able to get it first try. If he misses it, it'll be a lot of time loss. Okay, Pest goes over. Gets lucky, actually. But no, the Shade does hit the spikes and dies. This is one of the signs that someone is inexperienced in this trick. Luring the Shade into those spikes, not a good idea. Oh, and Mick taking a very questionable bench down here. Does indicate that he's going to go for the Mantis Swords check. A pretty slow check, but you never know, it could pay out. It will also get Mick a LNS seal. A little closer to that goal, which he can't mark yet, but definitely has his eyes on it. Oh, and Pest kills his Shade again. I think Mick has good reason to go to DPS soon. Like, just to talk about what the DPS play looks like at this point, we have midlife, 5 grubs, also 8 map pins at this point is a DPS goal, and that's about it. But King's Idols also gets a bit of contribution from the Zod Idol there. So, as you can see, this is a very favorable play if you're Mick. You can also finish off corner for locations while he's there. That way he can mark all of these, and in general give himself a really nice position on his home row. Oh, sorry, my bad. Wow, that was bad. But I would really like to see Best give up on this Crystal Heart play. It really isn't worthwhile unless it's one of the last locations you have available. Or at the very least, if I'm going to go for it, normally I'll get a 6th mask at least before jumping it. Since the skip is much more forgiving when you can hit your shade 3 times. Okay, Pest finally gives up. I think that was his 4th or 5th try. This is the best thing for everyone. In general, in Rando, it's really good to know your own limitations. Going for skips which you're not well practiced in, which you're going to fail a bunch of times, is really the worst thing you can possibly do. Because, like, sure, some checks are faster than others optimally, but a check that you won't fail is almost always faster than a check that you do fail. Yep, so looks like we're going to see Pest go to D-Dark now, which is nice. This is the right place for him to be. Meanwhile, Mick about to show us what the Mantis Lord's treasure trove holds. A Hallownest seal, I believe. Fragile Heart. That is a goal for Mick. Once he decides to go back and pick up Fragile Strength at the Seer. And Shade Soul. Not a goal, but still wonderful. Yeah, Mantis Lord's really quite nice today. Especially for Mick, since the Fragile goal is on his side of the card anyways. Struggling a bit, taking a lot of damage. Crystallized Mount. Alright, now we're gonna see Mick backtrack out of here. Maybe Spore Shroom into Deep Nest? Shade Cloak on Pest side. Not really a great find. I mean, Trader Lord is a goal, but a lot of times people get kind of duped into prioritizing that goal when that really is more of an endgame goal. It doesn't synergize with anything in Rando, so you really want to put that off unless you have to in order to win. It's the best way to put it. It also unlocks Sharp Shadow, and logically it unlocks Shade Cloak. So a couple of nice side effects to that. Did Pest not save the grub? And I guess he didn't. Wow, that's Pest seems to have not been keeping good track of the goals on his side, though. I don't think. Considering the trouble he had in marking Dream Builder early on, and a few other things as well. Also miscounting his number of tolls. Also, Mick now at 5 Hell in SCLs. That's a goal in reserve for him. But Mick is gonna go for a 6th just to be safe. Meanwhile, it looks like Pest is gonna head into Kingdom's Edge. Let's see. He could get a King's Idol here. He could do Colo 1. Maybe Colo 1 into Hornet 2 is his play. I would really like to see him get a goal in row 3 right now. I mean... It boggles my mind that he's just going to let Mick take this 5 LNS Seals goal in Mick's second column. Like, or second line rather, but Pest is not showing any initiative on this, so oh well. Is he going for Hornet 2? No, I'm going for Dash Slash first. Meanwhile, Mick gonna enter Green Path from below and check all these items, which Pest... No? I take that back. Mick not going to check the Green Path chest unless we're gonna see a bench save and quit. What is Mick going to get for us? Grubs? Oh, I see. He remembered this corner for location. This is actually a really slow corner for location, frankly, but you know, people tend to do the ones they remember with a skull rather than the ones which are fastest. And this does have the nice side effect of getting a couple grubs with it, so it's not wholly bad. Just also not very good. Alright. I wasn't watching at Dash Slash. We'll see what Quick Slash is. Doesn't look like Dash Slash was anything amazing. Oh, Quick Slash is Dash Slash. Oh, it was Dash Master, actually. Maybe. In which case that would be really important for Pest. Since that is a goal on its end. Alright, are we gonna see the Kingdom's Edge map next? I like this play from Nick. Kingdom's Edge is a really fast map to get. Also means that after making this Kingdom's Edge loop, we'll probably be able to get Grub Song. If he checks all the grubs along the way. No, he'll need one more, I think. We could see Mick try and snipe Call 1. I think that would be a poor decision in general, but an option nonetheless. Okay, Mick can go get the fragile goal now, if he so chooses. Probably a good choice if he does go for it. Yep, gonna go kill Zero, then claim the reward for 500 essence. Oh yeah, this is a little off topic, but another thing I want to point out, which is kind of worth noting, is that Pest did that all of his crystal heart attempts to shade skip, knowing full well where crystal heart is, and having the ability to get it if he so chose. Obviously, no one wants to do a 900 essence grind, but there was an alternative to that awful shade skip. Anyways, it looks like Pest is heading up to Kalo 1. This is interesting. He'll get a King's Idol up here, which is helpful. Could actually get 2 if he so chose, since neither of the ones up here require cloth. But Pest really needs to get his gears into motion, because he has given up a lot of ground to Mick by focusing on item checks and not locking down goals. Like, look how much worse Row 3 looks for Pest now compared to what it looked like at the start, where he had wings and dash and could do anything, while Mick was still struggling against Luskin. Looks like we gotta see a Soul Sanctum check from Mick now? Possibly. Could also see a Waterways play. Or he might even be planning on visiting Len to get Lantern. Definitely no shame in Lantern. If that is what he's going for. Watcher Knights do not require cloth. The Watcher Knight's chest does, however. Okay, Mick grabbing another seal. He'll be able to sell quite a bit here. Very possible that he's looking to get the 4,000 Geo goal. And it looks like Pest is going to go for Kala 1. I mean, make no mistake, that's a goal he wants to get eventually. But I really don't like him going for that right now. I mean, this is going to take a very long time with his current equip load. It's not a goal that helps him progress to anything. As you can see, Pest can already mark any goal in row 2 he wants, and in fact there's only one goal in row 2 which is even accessible to him. So getting a third goal in row 1 doesn't help. And Mick certainly is not going to do Kalo 1 to try and snipe that from Pest. The idea is ridiculous. For the same reason that Pest shouldn't be. It's a very slow goal. But Pest is in the area. Backtracking is really hard to justify. Even though I think that this is a really clear-cut case where backtracking would be the correct decision. Alright, meanwhile Mick hovering on the brink of 4000 Geo. Looks like he may be about to dive into deepness for us. I really like this play at this point for Nick. His last guaranteed goal in row 1, and it'll let him advance into row 2 as well. Doesn't even have to do Clawless Beastone, he can just get Tram Pass and come back for the net pins. No, I don't think it would be a bad idea to open distance station while he's down there. Okay, and Mick gets this nice rando glitch over here. Just meanwhile, about maybe a quarter of the way through Hollow 1. This is a very long gauntlet. And Spore Shroom is something I was not watching. Grub Song. Oh, just the bow going off the explosion. A glitch because, well, Rando has glitches too. Yeah, we see that Mick actually isn't even going for grubs here. He wants to be in and out, I think. Grubs are possible for him, but you know, why go for something that would be so time consuming? If he finds Claw, he can come back for it, but as it stands, Mick could probably win this card without Claw. Especially if Pest doesn't lock down the goals in row 2. I don't know. It would be difficult to do this without Claw. Oh, did Mick get the grub up there? The Mimic grub? I thought he didn't, but I'll admit I wasn't watching it very closely. Well, anyways, he did get this grub, so got his progress towards that goal. Just about maybe 2/3 of the way through. He's pretty close now, actually. See if Mick has practiced his clawless failed tramway. I know, in my case I had a pretty ugly movement in this room, my last tournament race. Be a little tough to pogo on these Garber Hatchers, or to get the dirt carvers to climb up the walls. But Mick shows us a nice setup, gets the first one really quick. Gets up the second, no problem, and just like that, he's gotten Tram Pass one step closer to that Road 2 goal for himself. Did Pest die in Coliseum? I missed the end. I thought he reached the Growth stage, right? Is he just not marking it? I can't imagine he died to double Growth, right? Need to get a look at the VOD. Meanwhile, Mick gonna get us this Weaver's Den check. Pest is lost, it looks like. Heading up to Pardoon, which is not going to be very productive. Mick finds Spore Shroom. It would be very nice for him if that Thorn's Water Shell Spore Shroom goal were on the card, but unfortunately it isn't, so... Okay, I just missed Pest finishing, but he did finish Colo 1. I was worried for nothing. Alright, Pest has got a challenge Hornet 2 now. Mick finds nothing in Weaver's Den. So the good thing here is that Pest has a potential with an Abyss check to get a nice advantage over Mick. Mick definitely won't make that check for a very long time. At this point, I don't think it's very likely that Pest will be able to get to the 4,000 Geo goal. He just hasn't prioritized that at all. Basically given it up to Mick. It is quite difficult to win without three goals in the middle line, but it certainly is possible, and we'll see if Pest gives it a go. Alright, I like this from Mickely. Presumably going to stag somewhere else and bench before dropping down to check mid-life. Best needs to be really careful here. Really doesn't want to die after investing so much time into this fight. Would like to see a lot less of the race strats right now. Fortunately, Pest does finish the fight. They'll be able to move on.
Bapanada.
Alright, and Mick is going to start buying map pins. This puts 4,000 Geo in reserve. Fortunately, he doesn't have anything else. And due to how the reserve gold works, he can talk to midwife and then mark all 3 of these goals, even though he'll have 2 in reserve at the time he acquires that. Yep, this is a very good play for Mick. This will give him a 10-5 lead. So, we'll enter basically an endgame of sorts, where Mick doesn't have Shade Cloak, so he can't do Trader Lord, but he does have a few past outright victory, I believe. Or does he? No, Mick is going to have to go back to checks, I'm sorry. I don't believe that is possible to get all 7 Grubs and Crystal Peaks without Claw. At the very least, it requires Crystal Heart. Mick could Shade Skip to Crystal Guardian too. That is a possibility. Like, technically, since I believe Mick hasn't killed CG1 yet, he could finish this way. Would require him to farm for Crystal Heart to upgrade Grimchild and do the crazy Shade Skip into Howling Cliffs. So that's pretty unlikely. Instead, I think we're going to see Mick search for items, hope to find Claw, or at the very least Shape of Un, Heavy Blow, and Steady Body. Now, depending on how trolly those charms are, this race could be extended quite a bit. This could be a real lifeline for Best. Meanwhile, on Pest's side, we're going to see... Oh, Mantis Claw was at Shopkeeper's Key, and he never ever checked it. Oh my gosh. Steady Body also at Sly. This is bad for Pest, though, because a Crystal Peak play is not far out for Mickely at this point. If you're Pest right now, I'm not sure. I think that you kind of have to lock down Crystal Guardian too. You can't hope that Mickely doesn't find Claw. Looks like instead we're going to see Pest go for Flower. Here's the thing about Flower. This is a goal which Pest can get. Mick isn't remotely close to Flower. So, like, Flower gives up information, and it's not a great goal for it. Like, obviously Pest wants to penetrate into Mick's territory, but is it worth? Not really. On the other hand, Pest could go right for Grimchild after this, which could really be a good play, actually. Claw was at Shopkeeper's Key. Pest just never checked it. very typical of runners experienced and inexperienced to forget that shop. Kinda silly since without that shop Crystal Peaks isn't a valuable play anyways, but what can you do? Mickely internally raging, probably because he wants Dash faster. Not going to bench here though, which means that he's probably not going to try and come back for it. Meanwhile, Pest on his way to Elderbug now. So something that is worth noting for this endgame. 2 goals, these 2, are blocked by Crystal Heart, which is a 900 essence item. At the moment, I believe Pest has 100 essence and Mickely has 500 essence. So Pest can win without those 2 goals. But that's assuming that Mick doesn't mark anything else, which is a tall order. Otherwise, Pest will have to farm for that, and he is at a massive essence disadvantage. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It takes skill to do that, in all honesty. I mean, you can't do that with natural talent alone. I do believe that is our first delicate flower break of the tournament, so congratulations to Pest for that dubious accomplishment. Alright, meanwhile, this is quickly approaching game over for Pest. Mick has entered Crystal Peak. It is very hard to believe that Shopkeeper's key check is more than 20 minutes away. Like, maybe if Mick takes a really long time to get out of here, he goes for the Crystal Heart check and fails to Shade Skip several times like Pest did. We have a possibility, but I think Pest hasn't prioritized the right claw goal here. But, you know, claw's not a huge deal at the moment. To be clear, the goal which Mick is going to want to get once he has claw is this one. This is actually the only goal he can mark with claw. After that, he can't get this. This requires Crystal Heart. Can't get this. Requires Crystal Heart. Can get this, but can't mark it because he doesn't have either of these. So, Claw will not end the race here. It just will weaken Pest's position. So, like what I was saying before, Pest was going for Flower. If he went for Crystal Guardian 2 instead, then Mick wouldn't be able to get anything. Mick can't get this goal without chaining together something. So, Pest is spending a lot of time here, not getting much for it. Not trying to criticize this too much because it is a goal. Goals are everything, but it's not a strategic goal. Alright, this is an excellent sign for Pest. Mick killing Crystal Guardian 1 means that Mick is probably going to bench here. And if Mick benches here, then it'll take him a really long time to get back to Sly's hunt. Possibly long enough for Pest to go get Crystal Guardian 2, if he is willing to go for that. Alright, is Pest going to reveal Mantis Claw now? Doesn't look like it. It looks like Pest wants to get Grimchild next. Chain these together, take Mick by surprise. Not a bad idea, per se. Still not strengthening his position on the card. Pest finding Abyss Shriek in that Cyclone Slash. Actually quite nice. This will let him kill Dream Warriors extremely quickly, which, as I mentioned, will be practically required for Pest to make a comeback at this point. But Pest not going to kill Gorb. I kind of actually like this because Crystal Heart shouldn't be a priority right now. Pest has more important stuff to lock down, but it is something he has to be aware of, for sure. Also, note Pest not going for Joni's Blessing. Being afraid of Dark Rims, not a great strategy for the tournament. But, as I said before, it's better to not go for stuff which you expect to fail. And so, if you know yourself well enough to know the Dark Room isn't going to work out well, then don't do it. It's easy as that. Also interesting that Mick is going for these grubs. I mean, like I said before, Mick has the advantage in farming for Crystal Heart. So, very possible he'll be able to go back for that goal afterwards. On the other hand, right now Mick doesn't know that he's right about to find Claw. If he did, yeah, it would be a really good play, I think. Alright, Pest getting Grimchild and Glowing Womb. Decides to reveal his hand. Mick should now know that he has Claw. Alright, and Mick gets the Crystal Heart Shades get first try. If this is something like Shape of Fun, this will be huge. Could end the race really quickly after that. I think Pest's best hope for victory at this point is that Shape of Un and Heavy Blow are the two Abyss items. Alright, just Geo at Crystal Heart. Really good for Pest. Hopefully he never goes back. Hopefully what we're seeing right now is Crystal Guardian 2 play from Pest. Be really nice to see, actually. Yeah, Pest needs Mick to never find these two. That way Mick can never claim these two goals, and Mick probably can't win off of this, especially if Pest finds Sprint Master as well. It's really interesting to me that Mick is prioritizing his scrubs with how buried Crystal Heart and unknown Mantis Claw is to him right now. Like, I mean, yeah, this is an endgame, but I don't know if it's the best one with his current knowledge. I mean, certainly No Eyes and Galleon wouldn't take too long to get him up to the essence goal he needs to hit still. Pest doesn't seem to be benching. I'm not sure that's the right move here. Crystal Guardian 2 quite difficult, especially if his primary damage source is going to be a Shriek. Really, really difficult. I'm expecting a death here. But hopefully Pest will prove me wrong, pass this fight with flying colors. Alright, Pest gets it. That is fantastic. Alright, you can safe quit, Pest. Don't die here. Oh, Pest was probably gotta check these items. That makes sense. Not a bad call. In particular, the Crystal Peak chest could still be something important. I don't like seeing him go back for these grubs without Crystal Heart first, at least. Like, commit, you know? And sweeping through here once he has Crystal Heart won't take long anyways. Like, you're not saving time for a revisit, which is uncertain. Alright, Mick will find Mantis Claw very soon now. Luckily, Pest has done a really good job of handling the claw blocked goals here. Mick will not be able to do much with it. Ah, and Shape of On, the perfect find for Pest at this point. Because Mick would have found that returning for the grubs. Everything is turning up Pest right now. From 10-5, he's brought it back to 10-9. Just like that. And Mick, forgetting to check Shopkeeper's key. Okay, he remembers, but still. You have a slight sync here between the players both going back to Dartmouth at the same time. Alright, Pest buying Lantern. I would not be surprised to see a Trader Lord into 5 grubs in Deep Nest here. Definitely a good option. Meanwhile, Mick will finally have his Mantis Claw. We'll see what he opts to do with it. A lot of options, none of them good right now for Mick. Looks really frustrated here. Very indecisive. Like, he's on the brink of winning, but he doesn't know what the final 2 goals should be. And every second he waits gives Pest chances to get back in this. We're gonna see Mick go into Allen Cliffs. Definitely a good choice. Mick still, I believe, has the advantage in terms of number of items checked. I might be wrong, actually. That might not be the case, but if Mick goes and checks Joni's Blessing now, and that is something which Pest missed, then that'll have been a huge turning point for this race. Pest bowing out of the Dark Room, not buying Lantern before going up there. We'll really just have to see. I mean, at this point, if Mick finds Steady Body anywhere, he wins. If he gets Crystal Heart, he can win. But those are his only two avenues right now without checking more items. Mick did not have enough Geo when he first visited Kingdom's Edge to find Ashmaster. Worth noting that wherever Race was, Mick missed it. Maybe Soul Sanctum? I don't know, but this Gorb fight is going to take much longer because of this. Alright, here we're going to see Mick check Jonies now. Real make or break moment, I think. Like, if Steady Body is somewhere like Waterways or Abyss, then Pest will probably be able to tie it before Mick catches up. Like, we can see here that Mick is on borrowed time. Pest will get this Trader Lord goal and the Deep Nest Grub goal. Then next 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, but it is Heavy Blow. That is the best possible thing Mick could have found. He's backing out of here to go get Grimchild. I don't think this is the right play, but it's a good precaution anyways. I think that right now Mick should be rushing that last grub in Beast In as fast as possible. He doesn't want to give that up to Pest under any circumstance. But, you know, Pest won't be able to snipe him on it anyways. And right now Pest can't mark it, so he's not like in a panic rush to get there. Alright, then the score is 11-9. Pest is now in a losing position, I believe. He requires Crystal Heart to finish. He does not have anywhere near the essence to get it. Mick, meanwhile, doesn't exactly have a path to victory, but after getting the 5 grubs in Deep Nest, Pest getting Trader Lord, Mick will just farm the essence to buy Crystal Heart, and that'll be GG. But Mick could do this instead. Why, I don't know. Mick is confusing me. He didn't get the Mimic Grub, so he's going back for it. That makes sense. I wasn't sure if he got this one originally. Looks like he didn't. So he's actually missing 2 Deep Nest Grubs. Not a big deal. He might also be missing the crowd outside Weaver's Den. I can't remember if he got that, though I kind of doubt it. Without Claw, it's a little awkward. Having to do that whole enemy pogo twice for that round. But it certainly won't be a long detour. Alright, Mickely saves a grub. One more to go. Pest really doesn't want to take damage on this Trader Lord fight. See, a lot of runners not quite accustomed to the buffed current patch Trader Lord fight. Damage tanking not a viable strategy here. Fortunately, his patterns aren't hard to dodge, really. But Pest takes a death. That is unfortunate. Not gonna cost him the race at this point. If anything, I think that would be the real deciding factor in this race is going to be the row 3 goals, which Pest gave up. Look, even now, Pest only has 1 goal in row 3, going for his second. But he let Mick take that 5 Hell Seals and 4,000 GL after Mick marked Lost Skin first. Like, Mick took a really long time to beat Lost Skin, 3 deaths I believe. But Pest didn't hunt down those goals. Now, Mick, not knowing that Pest is also in Queen's Garden, gonna try and make his own way over to Trader Lord. This will cost him quite a bit of time, unfortunately. We know the correct play for Mick here is to start farming essence immediately, since you'd probably need 2 more Pest deaths in order to be able to stack Trader Lord. Alright, round 2 for Pest. Already taking damage. Does not appear remotely familiar with Trader Lord's attacks. Like, keep in mind, the attack which keeps on hitting Pest is exactly the same as it is on 1221. The only difference is that it does double damage now. Well, there's the second death. It's unfortunate. Not much to say, really. Mick takes the lead here. If he doesn't die to Traitor Lord, he'll win. Both of them have a level 2 spell. Mick Shadessoul, probably the better of the two, considering Pest doesn't seem very experienced in using Abyss Shriek safely in this fight. And I don't even know how to read this from Pest as anything other than a forfeit. He doesn't have time to get this bench. This bench is only marginally closer than the one he already has. There's nothing here for him. Marmu might be nice, I guess. Well, anyways, it's not gonna matter. Mickely looks comfortable. I say that as he takes damage, so what do I know? Mickely dies, and Pest is back in the lead. Alright, Mick has died once, Pest has died twice. And Pest is going to kill Marmu first, before Traitor Lord. Has Pest given up entirely on Traitor Lord? I mean, certainly this is a move that he will have to make along the way to a comeback here. But Pest doesn't have the order of operations here. Also, where is Pest even going? I'm beyond confused. Anyways, Mickely on round 2 himself, looking really good so far, has 7 HP. Would be surprised to see him die here, but you never know. He is taking a lot of damage. Well, now both racers have died twice to Traitor Lord. What is the answer? Pest takes the lead again. Mick gives up. Or wait, did Mick leave a Dreamgate? Pest quit out. Has Pest given up? Well, Pest hasn't left a comment in Bingo Sync. Hard to really See what Pest is thinking, but I'm guessing that Trader Lord is not in the picture. Fortunately, little does Pest know, but backing out of this is not an option. I mean, Googling a Trader Lord tutorial, like just fight the Trader Mantis. They have the exact same attacks as him. They're not hard to attack. You jump over the ground dash, you dash under the air dash. Like, yeah, it's easy to take damage against this boss, but his patterns are not mysterious. Not being unfair, I'm sure I would struggle with this fight too if I were forced to do it in a race after 2 hours. Anyways, enough of that. Mick downs the fight, Pest dies, the race is over. 13-9 will be the final score. Mick takes the win in the first match of round 4. Let's pop over into Discord. See if anyone wants to pop in.
GG. Yeah, I suck.
Poor Pest, I feel bad, but...
About 20 minutes ago I got it. No, I just got it. Man, if I didn't not know how to kill Trader Lord. Or if I was not an idiot. I tried, yeah. I was kind of banking on the fact that you didn't have that and you go for like Crystal Peaks or something. But yeah, Trader Lord is a bitch. Okay. I should have had the 4000 Geo. I should have. I just spent like 5 minutes trying to do a stupid ass shade skip to Crystal Heart, and I should have stopped doing it after I failed it the first time.
Pest doesn't realize that he's on the mic, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that, mute that. We'll see. We'll get the real deal going on our music. But we'll see if either of them want to come in for an interview. Don't blame them if they're too tired. Alright, but in any case, that was the first match of round 4. A little bit impromptu, considering we just announced the pairings, but hopefully we'll be able to get the schedule for the rest of the week out soon, as events for this channel.
Oh, hey.
Hey, how are you feeling after all of that?
Not that great.
Yeah, really long seed with lots of combat for both of you. I know you talked with Best a bit, but both of you died multiple times to Trader Lord at the end.
Yeah, he was telling me he was doing it, which is... I don't know. I don't know exactly what he would be going for at the end there. I kind of thought maybe Grimchild.
Yeah, I mean, you would have won either way because you had the essence advantage in farming for Crystal Heart, which was required to finish the card at that point.
Right. I just kind of figured if I'm gonna fight a boss to get essence or end the run, I may as well just go end the run. So
yeah. So luckily it ended up working out for you. Both of you had a level 2 spell for the fight. You had Shade Soul, he had Abyss Shriek.
I would have much rather had Shade Soul. I don't know how to fight that guy with Abyss Shriek.
Yeah, that's what I told chat, was that Abyss Shriek may be the better choice for damage, but in general, when you're not comfortable with a boss fight, you greatly prefer having Shade Soul.
Yeah.
I felt so weak during that fight.
You're telling me.
during that fight and not the other fight you had issues with this seed, Nick?
Oh my god. That was awful.
Yeah.
I died to Lostkin like 3 times and close to beating him every single time.
Yeah,
Awful.
you seem to get a little tilted in there where you weren't healing as much anymore, and
Well, I figured it was close to the end of the fight, so I was like, well, I may as well just try and damage him out and kill him. But then I got hurt, 2, 3 times in a row and died. It's like, well,
yeah.
that's frustrating.
Unfortunately, Luskin always feels like he's close to the end, and he never is. Especially when you're low on items, the musical loop long before he's actually dead.
Yeah.
I was a little curious that you didn't get the nail upgrade before that fight, but I can understand if you thought that you were going to go for dreamers or dream bosses.
Yeah, it never really crossed my mind, I guess, to get all the way over there, because I don't know. I always felt like I was trying to rush Pest and beat him to something.
Yeah,
So the time wasted to go out and get a nail upgrade is like a minute. So I didn't want to take that minute when I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
even going to Cornifer and stuff, I didn't even stop to do any checks. I just rushed to Cornifer and Green Path, which probably looked a little weird on the restream, but
No, I thought it was very sensible. Actually, it sort of ties into a question I have for Pest, which was, for a very long time in the mid game, Pest had 4 Hallownest seals and the ability to get that gold. So, was that something that crossed your mind to rush towards that Pest, or?
I mean, I was thinking about either doing that or 4,000 Geo. I wanted to get the 4,000 Geo because then I could just easily sell all my stuff to Lem, but then I ended up never going to Lem anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. And the only Hallownest seal that I could think of in that moment was the one in the Dirtmouth Well, which I needed a claw for, and I didn't want to Google where a bunch of Hallownest seals were.
I see.
Or
Yeah.
were like, I'll find one eventually, right? And then he marked one.
Right. That's fair.
And then I took fucking 20 minutes trying to do a dumbass shade skip to Crystal Heart. It was pretty fun. I regret my decision immediately. If I didn't do that, I would have been fine. Because if I didn't do that, then I would have been able to go to Coliseum, Hornet 2, and then I could have gone and get the 4,000 Geo. And then it would have been fine. But I screwed up.
was there stuff that Pest checked that I didn't that like would have been helpful? I don't know. Like Sprint Master, I have no idea where that was.
No, Pest never found that. Shape of Un was
Yeah, what was that?
the
That was
Crystal
at
Peak chest.
Okay.
I
And
found that. I went there as soon as I went for Crystal Guardian 2, and then to check that chest, and then to quit out,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is useful.
and
I
for
kind of a
Pest,
feeling it was there just because you marked it after the other one. So I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
feel like I need to check this chest anymore.
Yeah, I definitely didn't give much away, but I was like, I don't know if he has claw or not because he marked a shit ton of goals.
but Pest missed the heavy blow on his first trip to Howling Cliffs because he didn't have Lantern at that time. That was at Joni's blessing.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I realized that I made a mistake and accidentally bought Elegant Key instead of Lantern, and then I realized that and I had 1200 Geo, and I was like, this is unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
I was very sad when that happened.
Yeah.
Did you go to Sanctum at all, Pest?
Yeah, I did the Sanctum clear except for Shade Soul. I don't think anything good was there. I think it was like 80
was
Geo
empty.
from Soul Master and then something underwhelming from the chest.
I believe Mick also found Dreamgate. Was that at Deep Focus?
Yes, it was.
That would have been useful. I just didn't want to take the time when I was trying to rush goals. As soon as I felt like I could do that quickly.
Yeah. At that
Probably
point, I
would've
was
been
kind of in
CG2.
search mode anyway to win, so I ended up just finding it by accident.
Yeah, that would have been really nice. Good. I'm so bad at this game. It makes me feel so sad.
That's hardly true, but
I died to like 20 million bosses, like so often.
it is really easy to get overwhelmed by bosses in Randomizer, I found. Even ones that aren't normally hard in speedruns. Stuff like the Soul
Even
Warrior.
when I have plans, I just get distracted by finding shit because I like the rando aspect of rando bingos more than the bingo. So I just like, oh, I want to check this and check this and check this, and it's like, oh, Mick has 7 goals. This is interesting.
Yeah, well, then you almost came back and tied it up because you'd checked so much stuff.
Yeah, that is the balancing of Lockout Bingo is that you have to have this sense of urgency to everything to check
I
Santa goals.
I have no sense of urgency until I'm in go mode, and then it's like, yeah, then I can go. Which sucks for early game, because then I always screw myself over. So were we like doing the exact same clear, like in the beginning? Because he got died
Uh,
like a minute before me, and I'm pretty sure that's because I fucked up the shade skip to Saluber to get wings.
that is correct.
God damn it. I really didn't want to start topside. I wanted to start left is what I wanted, but
That's what I wanted to, but I was not going to start topside, so I marked dive right away.
Yep. I figured that Dream Nail or Dive would be the first goal to be marked at the very start of the race, just because row 1 and column 5 were so awful, and those tend to pop up early, one or the other.
I did, yeah, row 1 kind of sucked, but I got really lucky with finding Dream Wielder early.
That is true.
I don't know, that it had decent synergy with the King's Idol Coliseum goal. Like, you can get those extremely easily. It's just out of your way, so. It's just very
Yeah.
out of your way.
Unfortunately for your side, Crystal Heart was very terrible to see.
So necessary, and I was like, I don't want to farm 900 essence.
Yeah, unfortunately, just really wasn't a good path for you without getting that.
Yep. Whatever. At least
Yep.
this is far better than I expected to do versus Mick.
Oh yeah, considering
be-
earlier you were saying you wanted to get 2. You got
well,
9.
considering the first time I raced him, I got 1 goal. So.
Yeah. Bit by
He's
bit
so close.
improvement, right?
Yeah. I'll become not shit at this game eventually.
Oh,
It's just a question of whether or not I go to Celeste before that happens.
oh, a slight issue which I think might have happened during the race. I'm still not entirely sure. I think you marked the 6-toll goal early best. I think you might have
I
miscounted.
think I did 2. I think I meant to go get the entrance into Crystal Peaks, and then I
Right.
went there like an hour later, and I was like, oh, I never opened this. What is this?
Yeah, it wasn't quite an hour. Neither of you had marked any goals since then by the time you got to it, so
I was just
I didn't
because
think
like
there was an issue, but still.
yeah, I deliberately took the path up in green path out like before Thorns, so I could get the extra one because I was trying to snipe Dream Nail then, but
Right.
I suck.
Yeah, I had noticed that you had gotten the other 5, and Chat told me that you opened that one, so I trusted them. Wrongly.
Yeah, no, I
Chat.
definitely screwed that one up. I was really surprised when I got there. I was like, the hell is this? I think I went to the stag station and then just immediately went back. Like, I don't know what I did. I distinctly remember planning it, though. But that's unfortunate.
Oh
Whatever.
well. Well,
Gotta finish homework tonight.
I guess that wraps us up then. Any
Yeah.
final thoughts?
I need to just not spend 5 minutes doing a single skip.
Yeah,
If it
that
fails twice, then just stop.
that Shade Skip to Crystal Heart is a real beast.
I've never had that much trouble with it before, until now. Unlucky. Oh, and it wouldn't even been worth it. It's the green path chest at Crystal Heart. Nice.
Yeah, Meg found the Geo there.
God damn it. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, I gotta go then.
Yep. Alright, let's close this out. More races to come this week.
See ya.